In the cold shadows of British Columbia, Wolverine faces his greatest challenge yet, his mortality. As his healing powers wane, enemies close in. From Canada to Tokyo, secrets unfold and alliances teeter. But as metal clashes, one question remains. Can you truly kill the Wolverine? Stay till the end of this video where every move could be Logan's last. At the break of dawn, Logan stands on the front porch of his former residence in British Columbia, appearing battered and fatigued. He proceeds sluggishly into the woods, burdened by a sense of dejection. A short while back, news arrived via Mr. Fantastic that Logan's regenerative abilities had been lost. Despite retaining his robust metal skeleton and superhuman strength, the prospect of ailments like leukemia or skin disease looms. However, Logan finds this prospect implausible, well aware that his historical adversaries could seize upon his newfound vulnerability. Although Reed acknowledges this predicament, he especially advises against employing his retractable claws. Nevertheless, Logan finds himself unable to refrain from using them. Logan now enters Eric's pub, his mind traversing memories of days gone by. He then tends to his injured hands using alcohol. He endeavors to unwind with some whiskey, but a call inquiring about his location prompts him to hang up. Some new customers request to be served their drinks, and the atmosphere becomes fraught with tension. Among them, a character named Nuke challenges Logan, but he is met with a resilient resistance. Through sheer fortitude, Logan emerges victorious, showcasing his potency despite the absence of his regenerative abilities. For clarity, this scenario is set in Canada. And just as well, Wolverine lays out two conditions for his adversary. First and foremost, Logan compels Nuke to broadcast a message to all pursuing bounty hunters, signaling his intent to defend himself at their peril. Secondly, he insists on Nuke divulging the identity of the individual who commissioned him. Communicating proves to be a struggle for Nuke, yet he manages to disclose the name Viper. She holds dominion over the criminal domain of Madripoor and also shares a history with Logan as his former spouse. One of Viper's henchmen, Koro, engages in discourse within a locale named the Princess Bar. He laments the escalating costs of doing his type of business. This narrative trajectory leads him into an encounter with an enigmatic businessman who is, in reality, Logan in disguise. Logan's presence in Madripoor centers around a bounty, put on his head by Viper. With Koro being initially evasive, Logan eventually unveils his merchandise, a novel Iron Man helmet, and this revelation secures him an audience with Viper. Upon entering Viper's sanctum, she identifies Logan and issues a command for the guards to engage Logan. In a methodical sequence, Logan incapacitates each assailant, ultimately confronting Viper. He raises inquiries about the bounty placed on his head by Viper. Viper elucidates that the decision was not hers. A new benefactor expressed interest in acquiring Logan's services, prompting her to delegate the task to individuals such as Nuke. Logan's curiosity is piqued by the identity of the enigmatic client, yet Viper proposes a diversionary game before divulging any more information. Her proposition entails Logan engaging in combat against an enslaved Sabretooth, who also happens to be Logan's childhood friend and lifelong rival. Sabretooth, afflicted with poison, requires daily doses of antidote to stave off the effects. Viper presents a high-stakes agreement. If Sabretooth succeeds in killing Logan, his freedom is guaranteed. Conversely, if Logan prevails over Sabretooth, he will be granted the sought-after information. Sabretooth inflicts injuries upon Logan, but Logan ingeniously employs the Iron Man helmet from earlier to distract and eventually conquer this adversary. The scene is joined by Lady Deathstrike, who, being targeted by the same contract, is here to propose an alliance with Logan. A decision is reached for them to collaborate in their quest to uncover the identity of the enigmatic client and nullify the contract. However, Deathstrike discerns a crucial detail. It seems Wolverine's readiness for another confrontation is in question due to the loss of his healing ability. Nevertheless, she perceives potential in leveraging Wolverine as a bargaining tool against the mystery client. But then, Kitty Pryde makes a timely entrance to mediate the situation. Kitty intervenes by phasing her hand through Deathstrike's body. And if perchance Kitty were to retract her arm, Deathstrike's life would be forfeit. And so with this realization, Deathstrike thinks twice before harboring any thoughts of disloyalty towards Logan. Kitty then brandishes a syringe containing a luminous yellow fluid. Administering it into Wolverine's neck, the serum initiates a gradual healing process. Although it's not a match for Logan's innate regenerative powers, the serum provides relief. Kitty discloses that she has been shadowing Logan's movements since Canada and reveals herself as the person he contacted at the pub. Her intent was to safeguard him from a potential demise. Logan now elaborates that a character named Ogun is their next lead. Logan and Kitty's path leads them to Tokyo in pursuit of Ogun. As they pause by a riverside garden, Logan opens up to Kitty, sharing additional details about recent events. His musings shift towards his current predicament, realizing that the absence of his regenerative abilities leaves him increasingly drained by confrontations. He contemplates the appeal of leading a quieter life. Kitty, however, dissuades him from entertaining such thoughts. A smile graces Logan's lips as he expresses his newfound enthusiasm for a life devoid of his healing factor. He yearns to make choices of significance. He outlines his intentions to persevere through the challenges and eventually retreat into obscurity. But then a revelation abruptly surfaces. The personality behind the voice isn't Kitty's, but Ogun's, who has taken control of her. Ogun's manipulation becomes clear to Logan. Both individuals grasp the truth simultaneously, recognizing that the puppeteer behind this scenario is Ogun, the veteran ninja, who has been orchestrating Kitty's actions from behind the scenes. Wolverine then implores Ogun to release Kitty from his grip, but Ogun remains unyielding. Logan initiates an assault with a punch, yet Ogun, who is now working through Kitty, moves rather swiftly, delivering a knee to Logan's abdomen before tossing him aside. Logan regains his footing and lands a punch on Kitty's jaw. Ogun employs knife hand strikes and punches, coupled with a swift kick. The skirmish propels Logan into a museum surrounded by historical artifacts. As Ogun catches up, Wolverine has equipped himself with twin blades and their swords clash. Ogun's attack narrowly misses Logan's head, with the sword flying past him and lodging into a wall. The engagement predominantly favors Logan, as he adeptly deflects each assault. But then Ogun concedes, and so Logan tends to Kitty for the sake of her well-being. She subsequently discloses to Wolverine the identity of Ogun's superior. It is no other than Abraham Cornelius, the man responsible for bestowing Logan with his adamantium-laced skeleton. Observing a fleeing figure outside the museum, Logan tails him through Tokyo's bustling streets, culminating in an abandoned warehouse. Inside, a vat of acid houses the metallic remains of a cyborg mercenary. Ogun now explains that Cornelius desires Wolverine captured and delivered to his headquarters alive. Ogun also deflects the question of another potential confrontation, warning of the termination of his current host in the person of Kitty. So, Logan ultimately decides to spar Ogun, in exchange for which Ogun pledges a healing serum. Subsequently, Logan journeys to Nevada, arriving at Cornelius's compound with claw bracers as protection. He overpowers the gate guards and penetrates the facility, engaging in a series of skirmishes. Eventually, he locates Lab 10, and by using a blood-stained keycard, he gains access to the room. Right then and there, Logan experiences a flashback, just as Cornelius relishes in the fact that Wolverine delivered himself to him for free. Logan's demand for answers resonates as he pounds on the glass. Cornelius subsequently explains his aspiration to rectify past transgressions. He articulates a desire to redeem himself, deploying his knowledge to mend the mistakes of his past. He yearns to be remembered for accomplishments beyond the creation of an invincible assassin. His experimentation spans a range of subjects: athletes, soldiers, anyone his agents can procure. The death toll remains unknown, but Cornelius admits to having consumed countless lives across years of pursuit, and his ultimate aspiration is the perfection of his process. Entering the room clad in a blue suit and a luminescent iron mask, Major Sharp embodies Cornelius's idea of tactical enhancement. Cornelius then goes into a soliloquy as he reflects aloud on his past mistake, acknowledging that he modeled his experiment on an animal, akin to Logan's own nature. Cornelius unveils the scientific term for a Wolverine, gulogulo, which translates to glutton in Latin, denoting their voracious and ruthless disposition. Logan endeavors to deploy his claws against Major Sharp, but one swift strike shatters his improvised gauntlet. Subsequent blows from Sharp to Logan's shin reaffirm Sharp's conditioning and skill. A series of precise maneuvers culminate in a kick to Logan's jaw after the removal of his second gauntlet. The climactic skirmish concludes with Logan urging Sharp to deliver whatever fatal blow he can. Yet, Logan manages to evade the punch, redirecting it to impact the screen that guards Cornelius. In a swift turn of events, Logan incapacitates Sharp while seizing control. Cornelius, now confronted by Logan, triggers the initiation of the adamantium fusion process with the press of a button. The narrative proceeds to Logan's entry into a refinery, where he shatters some machinery, permitting molten metal to cascade over him. But Logan barely survives the ordeal, with just enough life left to confront Cornelius, who shows some remorse a little too late. Soon enough, the molten metal that has been poured all over Wolverine solidifies, and Logan is no more. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you found this content valuable. We'll see you in the next one.